Alright, what is up, everyone? Happy Sunday, and, happy month end for February 2016. I am Darkside Phil, and welcome to my gameplay stream for the day. Today is going to be my final major Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 stream. To clarify for everyone, I see lots of people have joined the stream, so let me say this again. I just said it a couple minutes ago before I started recording pre-stream. Today's stream is the single-player, story-based content of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. And some people are probably going to be scratching their head and saying, what? Yeah, this game actually does have a story mode, and it does have single-player missions and content throughout the game. That was one of the major additions that they added into the game for this full-fledged retail release. If you remember, Garden Warfare 1 was a discounted title. I think it was sold for like 30 or 40 bucks at launch, and it was online only. If you didn't have like online gameplay, it was very boring because all you could do was like the garden ops. This game's very different. Very different, okay? And so that's what I'm focusing on today, okay? Because tomorrow, my goal is to review the game. Obviously, if I'm going to review the game, I have to get a full-fledged feeling for the entire game. Now, I've played the game online a lot, so I know a lot about the online gameplay of Garden Warfare 2. I've played the game in co-op with my girlfriend Leanna, so I know all about how the co-op and the garden ops and the graveyard ops works. So today I have to focus in on the single-player content, okay? Excuse me. So, I know some people are kind of saying, oh, I thought Phil might be doing, you know, fan appreciation or something, gameplay today. I'm not today, but, that doesn't mean I'm not doing it. It just means not today. At a future date, I will definitely be doing some kind of multiplayer with viewers in this game. In fact, I'll say this right now up front, I am not trading this game in. This is a kind of game that I'm going to hold on to, and EA and PopCap, the developers, well, let me take that back. PopCap's the developer, EA's the publisher. They have come out and said that there will be free DLCs for the game, just like there were with the first one. So as those DLCs come out, I'll be going back to the game to explore it. And at a future date, as I said, I may be doing multiplayer with viewers, okay? So, there you have it, everyone. That's the deal for today's stream. Later tonight, I'll be doing the weekend preview. And then after that, I'll be working on patron stuff. In fact, tonight what I need to do is close off the nominations for the Patron's Choice playthrough that's coming up in late March. And then I need to create the poll based off of the games that the patrons actually nominated. And the patrons will be voting on those in the month of March for the first 2 weeks. Then at the end of the second week of March, I'll close that off, and we will know what game will be the Patron's Choice playthrough. Okay? So that's my day today. Going to be a busy day for me today. And looking forward to this week. This week, tomorrow, I'll be finishing up Far Cry Primal and doing the review of Garden Warfare 2. Tuesday, I'll return to Street Fighter 5 after being away for more than a week. And then I'll be reviewing Far Cry Primal. Wednesday, I'll probably be doing even more Street Fighter. And then I get to do my taxes, which is always fun. I hate fucking doing my taxes. Seriously. Thursday, Ask the King returns. I just want to throw that out there for those who have been like, damn, Phil hasn't done one of those in a long time. You're absolutely right. It returns this Thursday, and so you should post up your questions on the kingofhate.com forums for Ask the King on Thursday. And then this Friday, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD for the Wii U is releasing. I've never played the game. I know nothing about the game. And I'm looking forward to playing it because I like Zelda games. So that'll be fun to start that playthrough this coming Friday, okay? Very good. So that's kind of the plan for this week. FYI, what I'd like to do now on the pre-stream, since I got a couple minutes as people are joining the stream, is give you guys a kind of a summary of what's going on in regards to myself and the business. Kind of like a month-end summary. I think that it's interesting to kind of talk a little bit about month-end stuff and let everyone know how everything's going in regards to everything that I'm doing this year. Because, you know, this year is very different than usual. Right? You know, usually in previous years it was gameplay, 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 gameplay. Oh, and then every once in a while I'll put out a different kind of video. This year's different. This year I am focusing very much on diversifying my efforts. Both, yes, on gameplay every day, but also on vlogging and on edited content for, you know, various different channels and such. So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit for just a few minutes here. Won't go too long, but and then we'll talk about Patreon, because we are at month end. There's only a day and a half left to pledge, and we are very close to hitting the goal this month. My God, we're seriously, I'm not even kidding, we're like 20 bucks off. So if a few people went in there and pledged, we'd be hitting the goal, and there'd be a platforming marathon. But I'll talk about that in a minute. Alright, so February. Let's talk. What happened in February? Well, first of all, games. What games did I play this month, right? Well, we started off the month with the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 DLC, the Zombies DLC, right? And also multiplayer. And the Zombie DLC I thought was really good. Had a lot of fun doing co-op with my friends Nestor and Chris and P-Dog, playing in that DLC. We played it for a whole day, big session, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And then I played the multiplayer maps. And then I did a kind of a mini review of this DLC for KO Gaming. That's my new channel where I'm doing the edited review style stuff. Didn't really get too much attention, and I hate to say it, but I think that the era of people checking out my stuff for every kind of mainstream game is long gone. You know, there was a time that no matter what game I played, people flocked over to see how I was going to cover it. Call of Duty was one of those games, even though I certainly was not one of the best Call of Duty players. It always seemed to get some kind of attention. And then I've noticed in the past 3 years, dwindling attention and attendance whenever I play Call of Duty, to the point now where I think most of my fan base doesn't give a crap about Call of Duty anymore. And at least this is the exception to the rule, because normally I wouldn't get a season pass for Call of Duty anyway. But being that this is the Zombies year, this is the Treyarch year for Call of Duty, it's the only reason that I did it. And I'll be honest with everyone, regardless of the fact that really not too many people went crazy to watch the gameplay of Call of Duty and the zombie stuff, I had a lot of fun doing it. I love doing co-op with people like that, and I don't even really care that people weren't too crazy about it. So that was fun. Didn't certainly get any kind of significant attention, but it was a good coverage for the beginning of the month. Then we had games like Naruto, Unravel, and Firewatch. Now, this was a weird one, alright? This was seriously a weird one. I was confused, because I thought for sure that Naruto, the game that is the direct sequel, the end to the Naruto franchise, the sequel to the game that I played 3 years ago when I first adopted Direct Capture, I thought for sure people were going to be like, man, I really want to see Phil do that game. I've waited 3 years and there hasn't been a resolution to the Naruto plotline. And Unravel, I'll be honest, I didn't expect much at all from Unravel, being that it was like kind of a cutesy platformer. And Firewatch, I honestly didn't expect much from either, being that it's kind of a walking simulator. It was kind of the opposite in a lot of ways. Naruto didn't get that much attention, but Firewatch did. Firewatch got really good attention. Like, for what it is, you know, an indie-style game that really didn't have much gameplay to it, but was more about the narrative and about just dialogue in the game. Not only did people turn out on stream to watch the game, but the views on YouTube were great. So that blew me away. I was like, whoa, I certainly was not expecting that at all. I really wasn't. And I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw how many people watched my Firewatch playthrough. So apparently, you know, that's pretty interesting. And, you know, what it tells me is that people really like to watch me play narrative-style games, which I've always known, you know what I mean? But I wish that more people would check out some of the narrative-style games from last year then. Games like Soma. Like, that game was great and got very little attention when I played it. Yet Firewatch, which is the same style of game, got way more, which, I don't know, it really confuses me. You know what I mean? But I don't know. You know, it's like I said to the stream chat, I really don't know It's very hard for me to predict these days what's going to be popular. It really is. It really is. It's very unpredictable. I play one game, I think it's going to be very popular. It's not. But then another game that I play is like super popular out of nowhere. I don't get it. It's very hard to predict. But anyway, continuing on. Then we had Street Fighter V week. And I knew Street Fighter V week was going to go well. I knew it, and it did. Even though the game didn't work half the time, even though it took upwards of 10 plus minutes to get a match, Street Fighter V week was great. People were turning out for every single stream. The videos on YouTube did exactly as I kind of expected they would. So I'm very pleased with how Street Fighter V week went. I think people were very happy with the coverage who were into fighting games. And it's kind of funny because I talked about this the other day, right? People were like, Street Fighter V, I can't wait to see Phil play Street Fighter V. But during that week, I had tons of people who were messaging me and say, Phil, when is Street Fighter V week over? You know, it's one game all week. We're getting bored. We're getting burnt out. We want to see you play something else. So I was like, okay, well, don't worry, because the week after, we've got 3 new games coming out. Three big new games coming out that you can look forward to watching. And then, when the week ended, and, we stopped playing Street Fighter V, jumped into other games, right? It was a slow week. And this is what I mean. Like, I cannot predict. Like, some things are just popular, some aren't. I don't know why. I just kind of shrug and, like, I don't know. So this week, we had Far Cry Primal, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, and The Walking Dead Michonne. Now, I thought at least one of those would catch on and end up being, like, a semi-popular playthrough. And no, they weren't. Quite honestly, Far Cry Primal only got attention for about a day, and then people really stopped turning out for the streams and watching on YouTube. And Garden Warfare 2 really never got too much attention. I think people just wanted to see what the new characters were like, and once they saw that, that was pretty much the extent of what people were interested in there. And The Walking Dead Michonne, I mean, I can understand why some people are turned off by Telltale Games, but, like, no one turned up for that game. I mean, even the live stream, there was, like, no one on it. I don't think, I haven't checked the videos. This is the thing, after I upload for, like, the first day, I don't go back and start checking on views or anything. But that first initial day, almost no one watched my playthrough of it. So, again, I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's really confusing, right? So, overall, the month of February on DSPGaming was a mixed bag. There were some things that did well. There were some things that didn't do as good as I thought they would do. And it kind of evened out, quite honestly, to be about an average month. It really was. If you look at the viewership and everything, it was about an average month for me. Okay? But now let's talk about the other 2 channels. Alright? So first we'll talk about the King of Hate Vlogs. My vlogging channel. This month I did a lot of different kinds of vlogging that normally I would not do. I told everyone I was going to increase my vlogging. I stuck to it and I did it. And I'm going to be honest, overall, it was a great month on the King of Hate Vlogs. There was a ton of variety over there that normally you wouldn't get. So, for example, I did reactions videos to trailers. I was doing reactions to, like, the Suicide Squad, the Wonder Woman trailers. I did reactions to the final Batman vs. Superman trailer. I did a reaction after I saw the Deadpool movie. People really seemed to enjoy that stuff that was outside of the box. It's not normal stuff that I would do. In addition, I did a few other kind of one-off videos. One in reaction to the Fine Brothers controversy that was going on YouTube. One I did in reaction to the whole Alpha Omega Sin name-dropping situation. And, just kind of, I'm trying to remember because I can't remember every single one. Oh, that's right. I did a couple videos in regards to the WWE events that happened. I did a Royal Rumble reactions. And then I did, well, the Royal Rumble reactions was technically the end of January, but I think I actually put it out on Monday, which was February. And then I just did a Fastlane reactions. And what those are kind of like mini Smart Guys. It's almost like the return of my old pro wrestling commentary show, right? And I like doing those. And then other series such as DSP Tries It, I increased the quality. I made it 60 frames per second video, which is much better than what it used to be. I added in things like better production values, better editing, the background music, and overall it seems the reaction's pretty positive. People are liking the changes. Okay. So, overall, I increased the amount of vlogging I did. I increased the quality of vlogs that I did. And I couldn't be more pleased. Like, the vlogs, people are turning out for different kinds of vlogs. It seems people are getting engaged on the vlogging channel in a way they didn't used to. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be, well, Phil puts out a vlog every once in a while. You know, that's cool. But, you know, we don't really look for it or turn out because he doesn't do it that often. And now it seems like people are watching the vlogs. I'm not putting out a vlog and feeling like it's a waste of my time. I think it's a great time investment. And I actually think if I stick to it, right, and I cover more topics, that we could actually make that channel grow, and I'll have more consistent viewership over there, and maybe for once, I'm not even kidding you, for once ever, my vlogging might prove lucrative, because it's never has been. My vlogging has always been like, I have to take time away from the thing that actually runs the business in order to do a vlog, and it kind of is a service to the viewer, because it doesn't really do anything for me. If we could keep on this cool positive pattern, then, you know, then it could actually grow and be good. You know what I mean? Now, let's talk about KO Gaming. Another mixed bag for me, okay? Let's talk a little bit about it. This is my new channel where I'm doing edited content, all right? Which means game reviews, montages, first impressions, mini reviews, all of that kind of stuff, all right? Mixed bag. Here's why. First of all, subscriptions are good. Subscriptions went up this month significantly. I reached my 5,000 sub goal, which actually was what I wanted for the first month. I wanted to get around 5,000 subs, and I got it. In fact, right now, last time I checked, I was over 5,100. I don't even know how many are on there now. Like I said, I'm busy putting out videos and stuff. I'm not just sitting there looking at the numbers all day, so I don't even know. All right, I really don't. The content I put out on there, I'll be honest, kind of low engagement for what I was hoping for. And what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of the stuff that I put out on that channel is very time consuming. I don't think people realize how long it takes to put together some of that stuff. For example, when I put out a Hits of the Week, which is a montage of the best and worst and interesting stuff that I did on DSPGaming for the week, that takes 4+ hours to put together. Because I have to basically go through all the videos, find the moments that I think are good, and then I have to sit there, edit it, and everything. It takes a long time. It's a big time investment. To do Hits of the Week typically takes 2 different nights of a week of doing, you know, 2-3 hours each night of work to put it together. And when I started Hits of the Week in January, it was very popular. And every single week that I did it after that, it dwindled and dwindled and dwindled to the point where when I was getting 3,000 views for Hits of the Week that I'm spending 6+ hours working on, I said, you know, I think I'm going to have to focus on other stuff. You know what I mean? You know, real talk, I have to focus on stuff that people want. So then this month, I kind of redirected my efforts, and instead of doing more montage-style videos, I started doing more game reviews. This also has been a mixed bag. Some of my game reviews have been getting pretty decent views. I was hoping to get around 5,000 views on a game review on KO Gaming to start, because, listen, if I did, the game reviews I was doing over on the vlogging channel would get anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 views, depending on what game it was. So I figured if on a new channel, you're naturally going to get less. I was thinking around 5,000 views. Some game reviews have done great. Some game reviews that I've done have done really good, and others really didn't get much attention at all. You know, I think I did the mini review on the Call of Duty expansion, got over 5,000 views. I'm pretty sure the Street Fighter review has done good. I haven't checked on it recently, but I think that did good. But then there's other games that I did that, like, no one cared about the review. You know? And it's like, it's, again, mixed bag. It's positive with the negative. So, kind of a month-end summary for February when I look at the big picture is gameplay is kind of the same as always, kind of an average month. It could have been a great month. It could have been a shitty month. It ended up being an average month, so I can't be disappointed with that, right? Vlogging, I'm very pleased with, and I couldn't be happier. I cannot wait to do more vlogging for you guys. I can't wait for new stuff to come out. And, you know, there's Batman vs. Superman's coming out in March. That's going to be fun. As more trailers and stuff release, I'm going to be doing reactions to that. There probably won't be too much in the realm of WWE in March because there's nothing until WrestleMania. But if anything big happens in WWE, I'll be covering that. Any YouTube news, I'll be covering that. So there's a lot of potential for good stuff there. And I'm really happy with that. KO Gaming, I don't know. I'm kind of torn because people have been asking for me to do the kind of stuff that I'm doing on KO Gaming for years. And I got nothing but positive feedback for the first month when I was doing stuff on KO Gaming. In fact, if you actually look, most of the stuff over on KO Gaming is positive. Wow, great job. I love this edited content. You're getting better at it. Keep at it. This is the kind of thing that's popular on YouTube, and it's going to blow up. And then you look, and I spent 4+ hours on a review that got 2,000 views. And it's like, was it worth it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm certainly not gonna stop, and I'm not gonna get discouraged at this point. It's been only a month, really, since the full-fledged launch of this new strategy for me this year. So there's certainly no reason for me to get discouraged yet. But I'm curious that once all these really heavy-hitting new games that people want to see, like for example, in the month of April, Quantum Break, Dark Souls 3, Star Fox, and Uncharted 4. Just those 4 freaking games. I know there's tons of people that want to see me play those, and it's going to get attention. Are people going to be turning out for the streams, watching the videos? Are people going to watch the reviews, the montages, or what? That's going to kind of determine stuff, I think, when we get to that point. So that's kind of a month-end summary for everyone, so you kind of understand what's going on with the business. And it was interesting to you know, to kind of look at it like that, because I don't think a lot of people realize that. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people know about that kind of behind-the-scenes stuff. All right. So now, very quickly, because I want to get started with the single-player campaign content of Garden Warfare 2, which is what this stream will be. 2 things to talk about quickly. The first thing is Patreon, because I'm going to be real with all of you. We have not hit the goal yet for the month. We're like $15 short or something like that. It's like ridiculous how close we are to hitting the goal for the month of February. If we hit the goal, patrons will be voting on a platforming marathon that I'll be doing at the end of March. Either the conclusion of Conker's Bad Fur Day HD, or Crash Bandicoot 3, or Banjo-Kazooie HD. One of those 3 on a 7-hour stream. We've hit every goal so far in the past year. In fact, this is the 1-year anniversary of me doing Patreon. And every single month we've hit the funding goal that I set. We were very close. So you've got a day and a half left. You've got the 12 hours for today and 24 more hours if you're considering pledging. If you'd like to see me keep doing this full time, you love the daily streams, you love the on-demand content, you love all the changes to the vlogging and the edited content that I've mentioned, and you want to see it succeed, consider pledging at patreon.com/darksidephil. Also keep in mind you do get perks for pledging, including getting text or verbal thank yous and videos. You can get a private Q&A video made, or get your question answered on Ask the King, which is happening this coming Thursday, in particular for those who pledged previous months. So just tossing that out there. That's kind of something that I gotta mention every once in a while, and I hope that we hit the goal. This would really suck if this is the first month we don't hit the goal, and then we don't have a, reward for hitting the goal. I get the feeling, here's what's gonna happen. I get the feeling a few people last minute in the next day are gonna realize that they need to lower their pledges because maybe they had a higher pledge from last month. And then maybe a few people last minute will say, oh, I got a pledge. It's the end of the month. It's the last chance. And they'll pledge. And so it's always random. And then, of course, you got people who get declined once they pledge. So there's no real way to predict if we're going to hit the goal or not. But I hope we do. So just want to make that abundantly clear. We have not hit the goal yet. We're very close. And it would only take a couple people going in there. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't have money, so... I couldn't really do this. $1 a month. $1 a month helps. And, 15 people put in $1 right now, we'd hit the goal. I'm just saying, it's not like you need to be giving $100. It's ridiculous. In fact, very few people do those large pledges. That's why, if you look at my perk levels, they're all low. Most of my perk levels are $1, $5, because I realize people aren't going to be contributing tons of cash, and I don't want people contributing tons of cash. The most successful people who have a Patreon, they're successful because they have a lot of people giving a very little amount. Something that's so negligible it doesn't affect you at all, but it actually helps me big time. Alright? So just throwing that out there, last chance to really pledge. And the final plug, and then we'll get started here, is for my girlfriend's business, The Black Current, which you can find at etsy.com/shop/The Black Current, spelled C-U-R-R-A-N-T. She sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. She's now officially been in business for 1 full year. It's a real business. She's legally registered. She's got a license. She's got insurance. She's got everything you need for the business. Very expensive, by the way. But she's been successful. She's had over 150 sales in that first year, shipped hundreds of items. And right now, in celebration of her 1-year anniversary, for the rest of today and for tomorrow only, she's got a special discount code. The code is 1year20. So it's the word 1, the word year, and the number 20. So to make that clear, because a lot of people got confused, they thought it was the number 1, then the word year, and the number 20. It's not. It's ONEYEAR 20. If you use that code on the website, in the next day and a half, on any order of $25 or more, you save 20%. You know, a lot of people have been saying the shipping on there is expensive, in particular to international customers. Yeah, because unfortunately, shipping internationally is expensive. This code basically negates that. It completely cuts that out of the equation for you. So, check it out. And don't think that, you know, this kind of stuff is only for chicks. Quite the contrary, the majority of customers that she has had were actually dudes. Viewers of mine, viewers of hers, who checked it out and said, wow, this stuff is great. And then they went back and ordered for their friends, or not friends, excuse me, probably their family, is what I was going to say. Their relatives, significant others, etc. It's high quality stuff, much better than what you would buy in the store. And a much better variety. Smells great, better for your skin. So check it out once again. Etsy.com/shop/The Black Current. And use the discount code 1year20 to save 20%. Alright, everyone. That is it. I would personally like to thank you all for being here on the pre-stream to see my conclusion of my Garden Warfare 2 coverage. I'd also like to thank those watching this pre-stream on YouTube who got a little bit informed on how February went. Here's looking forward to a positive March with tons of stuff coming out. I just found out that Pokken Tournament comes out in March, which I didn't even know. Pretty wild. So, alright. That's it. Let's get started with our gameplay, everyone. Thank you, and time to get the show on the road, as they say.